Ulstrom, the director. You tell me what you are, Nikita.
Yes, thank you for having us. I'm the Director of the Building and Development Services Department for the Port area, and I'm joined by Mr. Francis.
Yes, Dudley Francis, and I'm the Chief Building Manager in that department.
The main thrust of the Building and Development Services Department is to ensure that development is done in a code compliant, a safe manner, and we want to ensure that for the general well-being of our citizens. One of the things that we're also concerned with is the appearance of the city, how the city looks, how the city is maintained, and the upkeep of the city. And so we have a fantastic team that make up the Building and Development Services Department. We have sections like the planning section that looks at the town planning needs. We have the environmental section, the geographic information services section, as well as our city management and our building.
And especially in the building area, we're very concerned with any form of infrastructure development and just the development in general of the city. So we are responsible for making sure that persons who want
Ordinances say 4 floors, no more, but I see 1 or 2 buildings more.
Well, when we follow the ordinances, we follow whatever our code requires us, and so there are restrictive covenants that govern certain areas and how certain areas ought to be developed. And so any time a development is being planned in any of those subdivisions or areas, we refer to our Bible at that point in time to make sure that it's being planned correctly. And so that governs us and how we allow development.
Let me just say before we get to Casa Bahama, over the Christmas holidays, for example, we have had at least 3 to 4 residential demolitions and 1 commercial building that we have been in concert with the owner. It's a long process in many instances because we don't just want to go in and demolish somebody's property that they have invested a lot in. We try to work with them as best as possible. And in communication with the owner of that facility.
Who's the owner?
For some time. That's Mr. I don't necessarily want to call that person's name on the radio. But we have been
It's public record.
in communication with the individual for some time.
The individual is here in Grand Bahama.
Yes, and we have made significant efforts in at least making sure that some of the safety concerns that were with that building, for example, things potentially falling up from the building and causing hurt or harm to the public, we have addressed those things in the interim, and we have continued to try and press the owner as best as we can to have some improvements to that building. So it's an